Brock Purdy made his third NFL start on Saturday against the Washington Commanders, led the 49ers offense to 37 points, a number of explosive plays. We're going to get into all of that on the 49ers Commanders film review next on the Jack Hammer Show. Hey everybody, hope you're doing well on this Thursday. 49ers had a great win on Saturday. Thought it would be a good time to get in on Tuesday. Is always the day that we do our film breakdown. So here we are, Tuesday afternoon, ready to take a look at this. 49ers with 37 points on Saturday against Washington. Helped out quite a bit by the defense as well. You look back at this game, a couple of things just jump out to me real quick. One of them being that in the second half of that game, the 49ers they scored 7 points in the first half, 30 in the second half. Of those 30 second half points put up by the 49ers, 20 of them, 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals came on drives, quote, drives that were less than 35 yards. And that was in large part due to the play of the defense and special teams, helping them out there with giving them short fields in the second half, converted those into a touchdown, a couple of field goals, and another touchdown. So we'll get into everything about this game for the 49ers offense in this film breakdown. Let's go ahead and bring up the film and start rolling. We're going to start off right off the top. First play of the game, they're going to come out and they're going to run a little RPO action with Brock Purdy. He's going to fake the run to Christian McCaffrey, spin, puts it on the money to Brandon Ayuk for a nice gain of 9. This is all RPO. He's basing it off of the look pre-snap. He's expecting that 39 is going to follow the run. He does. Turns, and he's got one-on-one. Ayuk beats his man. Quick 9 yards for the 49ers opened up. That really nice play by Purdy there. Something we've seen the 49ers do quite a bit. Garoppolo's hit a few of those over the years. 2nd and 1 now. 12 personnel for the second play in a row. This is supposed to be a little counter run to the right side. It's not there, and so he goes to the left, and he is able to pick up 3 for McCaffrey and get the first down. You can see this play is supposed to go off here to the right side. You get the pullers coming from the backside with your 2 tight ends. It's a good thing that he led up. He broke back where he did. If he'd stayed with the play, followed his tight ends, I don't think he gets there because it's not a very good block on the edge by Tyler Kroft, slipping off the man there. But nice run by McCaffrey to pick up the first down. They're rolling. So first down now. This is going to be the third play of the game, and for the third time in a row, they're in 12 personnel. This one comes up short from Purdy, but I think this is more having to do with the route run by Brandon Ayuk. He's expecting this ball to be Ayuk to be at about 20 at the top of his break. You look at where they're lined up. They're starting from the 47. So just looking at that, the break should be right around the 30. The ball should be getting to Ayuk right around the 32, 33-yard line. That's about where the top of his route should take him to 20, and then he should be bringing it back to the quarterback. Ayuk runs it to 25, and the ball comes up short. If you look at where this ball gets placed, it's going to land 5 yards in front of Ayuk. So I think Ayuk ran this thing a little deeper than he was supposed to. I think he was supposed to get this thing to about 20 and break it down and then come back. And if he had done that, that ball would have hit him right in the numbers. Purdy had to get the ball to his hands quick, and he does. But I think that the route there by Ayuk is a little extended. I think that's supposed to be a little bit shorter route based on what we've seen historically with the 49ers in that deep curl route. I have to go back and look at some other examples of it, but that's just looking at it there. It looks like he was expecting that curl to come up a little bit shorter. And so obviously the throw comes up short. So that brings you to second and 10, 21 personnel here for the 49ers. And this is the play that Deebo Samuel got hurt on. So this is it actually being run the way it's supposed to. When we watch it from the backside, you're going to get that pull across from George Kittle. Kittle's running across. You're following him, and you can see the block, the path that should be taken. This thing should have been an outside run that Samuel got hurt on. Shoot, I went to the wrong one. Sorry. Next play. It's interesting though, because they showed that same motion on the previous play that they're going to show here. See that he comes across. You got to follow that guy. He gets that little hit on the edge. Isn't quite able to get up to the second level for that block, and that's who makes the tackle on McCaffrey. Kittle had a nice little help block there on the edge. Boom. If he'd been able to get upfield just a little bit, then McCaffrey would have been able to get behind him, and this is a bigger gain. Instead, the defender there takes him down. It's still a nice gain of about 4 yards for the 49ers there, which brings up 3rd and 6 at the 50. Third down, 49ers always go into 11 personnel, and here they are. What I like about this throw from Purdy is look at how quickly that ball comes out, hits him in stride, and then he letting 85 do some damage after the throw. But you can really see the timing of this ball coming out. Watch where he starts to throw. 85 he knows where he wants to go. He's got the middle open, and he's starting his throw right there. 85 still working the stem of the route, and as soon as he turns around, the ball's on the way. Hits him right in the numbers. Nice little run after the catch, picks up some more yardage. Nice pitch and catch from Purdy to Kittle there. You can see it really good here from the end zone view as well. You can see the mesh of the timing here, how it works. Padding, he's already getting ready to throw and Kittle's still just starting to get into his break, and that ball's almost out of his hand already. So really good timing. I like the fact he puts it right on him and just lets 85 run with it. Really nice play. Nice gain of 25. Now they're at the 24, 1st and 10, come out in 21 personnel. They're going to run their little toss to the left. Ty Davis Price, the primary backup in this one. Jordan Mason dealing with some injuries. And at some point, he's going to need to realize that he's not going to run through guys in the NFL quite like he did at LSU. He's not playing against the University of Florida. These guys are good tacklers who usually aren't going to get run over when you just square up and run your shoulder. You've got to take some angles. Really good job by that safety just to stand him up and put him on his back. Got to have a little bit more movement to your game. You're not just going to run people over at this level. But a nice gain of 6 there on his first carry. First carry back. That was his first carry since week 7. Good job there. 2nd and 4, and they're going to run this thing back up the middle again. Out of 11 personnel here. Good job getting up into the hole and not able to get across for the first down. Looks like they're trying to use some motion to make the defense think they're going to the right a little bit more, but they don't get that flow across that they would like. 3rd and 1. Still in 11 personnel. And just nothing there. 49ers just don't get any push. When they're in these situations, they rarely move people. It's one of the reasons why you don't see them run. You don't see them run the quarterback sneak either with Brock Purdy like you did with Jimmy Garoppolo. It might be a little bit of a joke with some people, but the 49ers, when they have with Jimmy Garoppolo, he's a very good quarterback sneaker. He's got strong legs. He's able to get some. He's not fast, but he's able to get some push back there. Purdy can't. So in this situation, they've got to hand the ball off, and you just see the offensive line goes nowhere, and he just runs into the back of everybody and he's taken down for no gain. So it brings up 4th and 1. I don't really like this decision by Kyle Shanahan. I'd rather see you kick a field goal at this point, go up 3-0, and then play from there. Instead, you miss it here. There's no reason to be chasing after points like this. That's something that you should be doing if you've already have a lead. Maybe you're up by a couple of scores at this point. Then you go ahead and you try to pile on. But I just don't like it in this situation. The Flyers got lucky in that Washington did the same later on in the game, early in the second quarter, to cost themselves some points too. And then I really don't like the play call on top of it. You're going to go for it, okay, and then you go for this and you run this little half fullback option play. It's not it actually almost works. There's a couple of things that break this play down. Number one, the main reason that this play breaks down is Kyle Juszczyk has the bubble bounce back just a little bit. Right there, you see him have to bounce back a little bit to get that depth to get around 71 because Trey Williams had got pushed back by, I believe that's Young, driving him back. So Juszczyk has the bubble back. Well, when he bubbles back, that changes the pitch relationship between him and 23. So now when he breaks upfield right here and he goes to make his pitch, notice 23 is supposed to be behind him. They're side by side. So it's impossible for Kyle Juszczyk to put this ball out in front of 23 and let him run. Because if 23 is behind him, 23 should be at about the 22-yard line. There should be a couple of yards depth between those two. The width is fine, that 5-yard width, but he has to have a little bit more depth so that when that ball comes out, he's catching that thing running forward. There's just no way that Juszczyk can get the ball out to him without that ball being behind him and having what happened here happens, which is the ball going behind him. And all that starts with 71 getting pushed back, Juszczyk having to bubble back, and then their pitch relationship getting messed up. So it's just such a fancy play. And it's one of the things that I think the Friars kind of have to do this kind of stuff because again, they can't just line up and push you around like they maybe had in years past. They've got to run stuff like this, but there's the bubble. You see 90, it's 90 pushing, gets up underneath Trent Williams, drives him back. That forces the bubble by Kyle Juszczyk, ruins that pitch relationship, which is the result that as a result, the ball is behind Christian McCaffrey. If he'd been able to get that ball out in front of McCaffrey, I think it's a first down. But that whole play, this whole thing breaks down with the block. Watch right here at the end. See how 71's getting pushed back? That's where the play really breaks down. All right, so they come out, they get a stop. So now they're going to get the ball back at the 50, and this is going to be a quick possession for the 49ers. They have really good field position here. They're in 21 personnel, but they're able to spread it out because of the flexibility that their guys give them. Takes the check down here too. He decides that he's going to work the right side. He's going to work Brandon Ayuk. Instead of working the 3 receiver side, he just decided pre-snap that he's going to work the out by Ayuk with the curl by McCaffrey. That's where he's decided pre-snap that he's going to work based off of the defense that they're showing him. Looks kind of like it's going to be cover 3 at the snap based on the formation with the single high safety, their safety coming down into the box. It looks like they're going to run. Post snap, they kind of roll into a little bit of a 2 type of a look. You see that they're taking away the deep out by there's a guy underneath, a guy on top. They're not going to get that ball into Brandon Ayuk with the coverage that they have. So he makes the proper read, checks it down, and you get a nice gain of 6 to open this up. Now let's just take a look at now. Again, we know that he's reading the right side based off something he saw pre-snap. Now, so he's going to read that side. We know that. But if you had read the left side, let's see what's over there on that 3 receiver side. You have Kyle Juszczyk running wide open underneath with nobody around him because of the formation and the look. That safety rolling back off of him. And then you also have George Kittle running down the middle of the field. There's no way that this is a touchdown if he throws this ball to George Kittle, because there's no way that middle linebacker is going to get there. There's no way that safety on the top is going to get there. If this ball gets thrown down the middle of the field to George Kittle, this is 6. But instead he's working the other side, and they end up with a short completion. They're going to come back to this a little bit later on. They'll do something similar to this, but again, this should have been a touchdown throw to George Kittle if he reads the other side of the field. So it's not a bad read. Post snap, it's a good read because his primary, which is Ayuk, is covered. His check down's open. He takes the check down. But if he'd been reading the other side of the field, he has a touchdown to George Kittle. That's the only thing that I'm pointing out there. Doesn't mean that it's not a bad post-snap read. Doesn't mean it's a bad play by him. It's a missed opportunity because of the pre-snap read. I'm going to just pause it really quick right here because we had a question. Goira Von Jinks wants to know how many times did they practice that play. Well, the play that he's going back to the 4th down play with Kyle Juszczyk having to run the option. That's not a new play with the Farmers. It's something that they've run in the past. We've seen them run it before. I think you go back to 2019, you'll see them. There's stuff that you've seen them run. It's I don't know how many times they ran it, but it's something that they've done in the past. As far as my thoughts on Ty Davis Price, I mentioned it earlier. I think he's a power back who doesn't really have any movement, like shiftiness to his game, and he's not going to run people over. He's not necessarily going to run around people. And so when you get to that play a minute ago where he gets to the second level and it's him one-on-one with the safety, if that's Christian McCaffrey, you're going to expect him to probably make a couple of maybe make more than 6 yards on that run, because he doesn't just try to run people over. He tries to pick angles and make cuts and those kind of things, whereas Ty Davis Price just tries to run everybody over. And he's not playing in the SEC. He's not playing against college kids anymore. And these guys are going to be able to tackle him if he tries to run them straight over him. And we're seeing that in this game a couple of times already. So that's the first down play. Now was the check down to McCaffrey. Now moving on to 2nd and 4, still in 21 personnel. And this is going to be, they're going to run a little boot action to the right side. Purdy does a really nice job at the start of this play. Makes the defensive end miss. Really nice job there. And the ball is just a little bit behind. He's throwing it to the right spot. He does a really nice job of making the defender miss. Positive. The fact that it's incomplete, that's also a positive when you look at it, instead of it being a sack. But this ball needs to be just out a little bit further in front of 11. It's pretty good coverage coming down from the safety, but Ayuk's having to stop, and that partly allows the safety to be there to make the play. If the ball's out in front of him and he can keep running, might have been a completion, but it doesn't work out that way. Now here on 3rd and 4, this is going to be the sack. Watch Spencer Burford here. You get that there's the sack. He's on him. And then he releases to go to the outside guy, and now you got a double team with Burford and McGlinchey on the other guy there. McGlinchey doing what he's supposed to do, which is block down. You want to block inside before you block out. This is all on Spencer Burford. Burford needs to stay inside instead of helping going in and then coming out. There's nowhere else for him to go. Once he passes this guy off, he steps outside, but you don't want to do that. And 64 is working the opposite way. You need to help him out. I think, he wants to check this down to McCaffrey, and he's just not able to. And if Burford had stayed with 94, watch, 13 makes the defensive end miss. He's going to make that guy miss, and he's going to come out of that thing. The second guy through is who makes the sack. So that's a tough one there, but that's all on Spencer Burford. Getting to so the 49ers, this is right after the goal line stand. Fred Warner makes the great stop down here at the goal line with help of Javon Kinlaw. Really nice play on 4th down. They get a 1st and goal at the 1, and they're going to give it right off the bat here. It's 12 personnel, and they're going to run this up inside to with Christian McCaffrey. Nice push on this play. We talked about it earlier, how they usually don't get pushed, but watch them push off the line here. You get a nice crease. 65 and 71 do a good job of blocking down and driving it out, opening up that hole for McCaffrey to get off the goal line. So now you got 2nd and 7. You're out at the 4. Give yourself a little bit of room. 20 still in 12 personnel here. Nice little zone run to the right side, and you see or left side, and McCaffrey does a nice job of cutting this up inside. So they're running inside zone to the left. He's going to start this outside with the cut coming back. Watch this run by 23. You see all shoot. Sorry, guys. One more. So here it is once again. You see all the movement going to the left side, opens up the cutback lane. One guy tries to get him with an arm, isn't able to grab him, and it's a nice 9-yard gain, really getting yourself out of that hole. Really nice work right here by 64 and 74. Look at that. That's what opens up the hole. We just talked about Burford getting beat on on the sack, but look at the combo block right here of 64 and 74. That's what opens up this hole for McCaffrey to run into. Really nice job by the first year center and the rookie right guard. Look at the step. They get that guy moving, and this boom. That's where the 49ers offensive line is at their best. Get guys moving. Use their athleticism as well. Really good job there, and McCaffrey with a really nice read to cut that thing up and pick up 9. So now it's first and 10. 49ers decide to go into 22 personnel. This is really a feast or famine personnel for them for the most part. It's either going to be a short gain or a big one. Not much in between. They try to run this toss out here to the right side and just pick up a yard. Not much there for Davis Price out here. They try to run it back across to the right side. There's nothing there for him. 2nd and 9, 21, and Purdy in the gun. Tries to go to the right side. He's got George Kittle out there, and the pass gets knocked down by Chase Young. A couple of those in this game for Purdy. You know, he's not the tallest guy, but I don't think his height really matters a whole lot. Watch how high Young's able to get. He sits back. McGlinchey's not able to keep his hands down and the extension, and he gets a big old paw on the ball, knocks it down. Takes you to 3rd and 9. Good play right there by. It was a good read by Purdy. He's going to the right spot. Better play by Chase Young to knock that ball down. Not a whole lot that McGlinchey can do, but he's got to try to keep that guy's hands down. 3rd and 9, 11 personnel here. He's going to complete this one to Juwan Jennings. Tight coverage there, tight window to throw that ball into. But he puts it in a good spot. This, it's got to be low and behind him because of that linebacker underneath. That's about the only spot that ball can be put in. Puts it in a really nice spot, and that's a really nice adjustment by Juwan Jennings to be able to come down with this catch. Watch it from the end zone. The linebacker's just running right into it. And he's got to get that ball out into the first part of that window, which makes it harder. Because if he could have held it just a little bit longer, you get Jennings coming across the middle. But he wants to get out of his hand a little early. I think if he holds on to that, they might have a bigger play. If he holds on to it just a split second longer and throws it to the other side of the linebacker. But it doesn't matter. You got a big gain right there for 1st and 15. Now it's going to be 1st and 10 out of 12. You're going to play action this. And he's got George Kittle right in the middle of the field, wide open, and the pass gets knocked down at the line of scrimmage by number 91. They're trying to make this look like they're running an over route from Kittle, and then he just sits down. And it's there, but really nice job by 91 to get his hands up. Again, two throws, 2 out of 3 throws here. The passes get broke up at the line of scrimmage. And then you come out with this out of 11 personnel, and you get a 71-yard sweep with Ray McLeod. Just great play up front, all the way around. Terrific blocking up front. This is the only snap of the game for Willie Snead. He was called up from the practice squad this week. And watch the block that he makes out here on the right side, because he makes the final block. 74 gets his guy, 69 gets his guy, 23 on his. And Willie Snead has the last man that's going to get to him. And nobody touches 3. He goes 71 yards untouched down the right sideline. Just tremendous blocking up front by the 49ers. And it's, some of it's that offensive line, and a lot of it is the guys out on the edge. But I think on that touchdown play, you need to look at that one and show everything that went into it. Let's watch at it one more time. Watch the reach block from 74. Really nice. 65, 69 gets up to the second level. Nice. Now you've got a wall created. You get 85 and 23 kick out that end. 83 is the last guy on that wall that needs to get it done, and he's off to the races. I've had some people over on the at the blog site that I write for at the Press Democrat talk about how that wasn't really the offensive line, but if you look at it, it really, that whole thing starts with the block by the right guard, the block by the right tackle, and then you have the tight end, running back, and line and wide receiver make it. So it's a really nice all around play by that 49ers offensive front on the right side, working against those guys. Really nice one. All right, so just want to clean up some stuff over in the comment section really quick. And as Black 59 Razor points out, thanks for the reminder. Hit that like button if you guys like what you're seeing so far. So it's 7-0, 3:03 left in the first half. This is the 49ers don't have very many plays here at the end of the half. So this is 1st and 10 here, and this is the first mistake. Brock Purdy. This is a good ball. Throwing the slant to Juwan Jennings, and he's just not able to catch it. The ball bounces up, and it bounces right to the safety. It's not a bad throw by Purdy, but it's not perfect either. As we watch it from this angle, you can see the throw. It's a little bit on his back hip. It's around just about his thigh level. So that's, it's not a bad throw, but it's not a perfect throw either. And that's what leads to the bobble and the safety making the pick. So it's on that slant, you got to get that ball out in front of him. It's a tough one for Jennings, but he's got to eat the mistake there. And then here, the final play of the first half, just a little run up the middle, run out the clock by Christian McCaffrey, and you go into the half, and the game is tied at 7. Second half turns things around, though, for the 49ers. It's going to be a much different second half. You just kind of get into the locker room. Just get into the locker room type of play right there. So come out in the second half. 49ers have been really good in early second half situations. Black 59 Razor says Jimmy would have gotten ripped for that throw. Well, if you watch enough of my film breakdowns, you know that I probably would have said the same exact thing. And sure, there are people on Twitter that might have ripped him for it, but you got to get over the fact that there's a lot of stuff on Twitter that you got to just let blow off and roll off your back, because there's a lot of people who comment on Twitter and again rip player X or player Y who really don't know what they're watching. And in this case right here, so we start off the second half, and Purdy's going to come out hot. A couple of really nice plays here right off the bat. 21 personnel for the 49ers, and he's going to work the middle here to Brandon Ayuk. Ayuk down here at the bottom of the screen. Perfect pocket. Ball comes out quick again, and he's able to get it in there in front of the middle linebacker who's working his way back, trying to get into that deep hole. Nice ball by Purdy. Watch the timing again. You can see that here from the end zone view. You can see them both. As soon as he starts to open up, boom, a little high, but a really nice catch by you across the middle. 1st and 10, 12 personnel now. It's going to be very similar to what we just saw, though. You're going to see Kittle. He's down here at the bottom of the screen, and he's going to run down and in. Basically the same thing they just ran. Excuse me. He's not at the bottom of the screen. You got that one wrong, Jack. But a nice throw from Purdy to – looks like Kittle's up at the top there, and he's going to run a little out. This is where that one's going. I think Hugh's down here at the bottom is one that got me confused. Kittle up at the top there, right on the running the out. They're running. That's basically a flood concept. They got a deep route with a deep medium level out, and then they got the guy in the flat. It just opens right up for him. See the corner turn and run. That opens it up. Good ball from Purdy to Kittle. And you get back-to-back throws, open up the second half for 13 yards. So 26 yards on the first 2 plays of the second half. Nice ball for a guy that doesn't have a very strong arm. It's a nice out throw right there. He's running that thing from an inside position, so it's not out to the sidelines, but it's still a nice ball. 1st and 10, 21 personnel. You're going to run this thing over the left tackle. That's their little counter that they like to run, and you stop for a gain of 3. They really like to run this counter. It's one of their better runs. It allows them not to have to block man on because they can all block down. It helps you with those angles, and it's a nice run for them. It's part of the reason why they run it so often. They run it out of so many different looks to get into it. 2nd and 7, 21. You're going to run this thing back to the left side again. This is the play that they ran earlier. Same one. Remember, they ran this earlier. It was the fourth play of the game. They ran it for a gain of 3. Here they run it. This time it's Croft instead. Does a little bit better job of getting up to the second level, and McCaffrey cut it up a little bit more. If he'd kept that a little bit wider, I think he might have got a better gain out of it again. But at least it's a nice gain of 7. Gives them a first down, 1st and 10, 12 personnel, and they're going to run a toss out here to the right side with McCaffrey. Really nice cut, and that's one of the things I like about him. It looked like he kind of hurt his might have rolled his ankle up a little bit there at the end. You see him kind of grab at it, and they take him out of the game for the next play. But really nice job by Christian McCaffrey. I love the ability to cut in and out like he does here. It's almost like a skier just being able to hop back and forth, right? You watch those guys run on the moguls, right? Those skiers and the way they shift their hips back and forth. It's very similar for running backs in this situation. And I really like this run by Purdy and what he's able to do here. Like I said, it looks like he kind of rolls up his ankle a little bit at the end. He grabs at it as he starts to get up, and Davis Price comes in for him for this next play. Just an inside run for a gain of 2. Not a bad one there for Davis Price. There's not a lot of area there for him to take this. Just might have to take that just a little bit further to his left, but other than that, it's a nice run. 3rd and 4. This is the touchdown throw to, George Kittle takes this one away from Ray McLeod. I think this ball was intended to McLeod, and Kittle just ended up in the same spot. You don't dial up a play, drop a play where you have 2 receivers running to the same spot on the field. So what's supposed to happen here, I think, is that Kittle's supposed to run this thing across, but because of where the safety is, he takes it a little bit deeper, and then the ball's thrown, so he just tracks it. He's supposed to run right to where that. I think he's supposed to run right to where that safety is. Regardless, it's a nice ball right down the middle. Puts it on it, and 49ers with their second score of the day. It's good to see the quarterbacks be able to hit these deep shots. With Garoppolo, they threw the deep ball more often than they've thrown it with Brock Purdy. But the difference is they're hitting it on a higher percentage with Purdy than Garoppolo. So Garoppolo had a higher percentage. That's one of the things you hear a lot of people talk about, how Brock Purdy is willing to take shots down the field more often than Jimmy Garoppolo. Well, that's really false. Garoppolo threw deep on about 8.5% of his passes to about 6% of Brock Purdy's. The difference is that Purdy is hitting on those. Purdy's completed 4 of his 7 throws over 20 yards this year, compared to 8 of 28 for Garoppolo. There are a few drops in that, which would have got Garoppolo to 11 of 28. But still, 4 of 7 is better than 11 of 28, right? And you look at those 4 deep shots; all 4 of them from Purdy have resulted in touchdowns as well. So, a couple of things to look at there. Really nice ball, and so it's 14-7, getting into the point of the game here where things are gonna speed up a little bit after this possession. Field position is going to get a lot better for them. 14-7 here, and you're going to get a run up the middle by McCaffrey. Does a nice job of breaking free on the first hit, getting himself up there for a gain of, getting himself in there for a gain of 3. 2nd and 7. It's going to be a nice little completion here from Purdy to Kittle for 9, but you get a hold on Aaron Banks that calls us back. It's one of those things. Farmers have kind of shot themselves in the foot with some of this stuff in the last couple of weeks. Again, there's a hold here on Aaron Banks. Watch him. He's over here on the right side, our right side, the Farmers' left side, but he's on our right. Look at that's where the hold's going to come from. Pulling across, yeah, and there's the hook of 90. Not able to come across. They're trying to make that look like their counter look, and that's why he's pulling. And you see him get a good, nice grab on Sweat there for the hold. This might right here. This might be one of the best throwaways that you're ever going to see. Watch this one here. Free off the edge. He has the receiver. He could have hit Jennings on that crosser. He doesn't. And so he takes off running and does a really nice job of getting the ball out of his hands. But again, you've got, let's just look at this one more time before we look at the speed of Brock Purdy. But you got a free rusher coming off the left side. And right behind it, you have a guy coming across that's wide open. That ball should come out to him. Go ahead and get it to him and let him run. There's some space there. Who knows what happens? He might be able to, it's third and 17, it's 3rd and 17. So the likelihood he's going to get it, it's 2nd and 17, would have put you in a nice 3rd and down position if you get the ball out of your hands. But instead, he takes off running, does a really nice job of trying to fake out the Washington defender, and then spins around and fires it out of bounds, which is really, really nice. But again, I would have liked to have seen him throw right off this right here. You got this guy coming. He's not even looking he's looking the other direction. So he doesn't even see the free runner coming the other side. He would have had Jennings there. He doesn't even see it. His eyes are on the other side until it's too late. You get stuck on 3rd and 17, and just the ball bounces off the hands of McLeod here. Not the best of throws, and probably not going to get the first down there anyway. Would he have gotten lit up if he had thrown the ball to Jennings? Yeah, probably. As Jay Tizzle in the comment section says, he probably would have. But that's partly your job. Sometimes you got to stand in there and get hit. And if you could put yourself in a better position, all for it. So now this is where the game turns. And so up until this point, where were we? What was the score right now? Was it still 14 to? I believe it was still 14 to 7 at this point. Let me check. Yeah, 14 to 7, and this is where the whole thing changes. The Commanders decide to go forward on 4th and short. They stuff the Foreigners defense stuffs Heineke on a quarterback sneak for no gain. He gives the 49ers a turnover on downs, as good as a turnover, and gives the 49ers offense great field position at the 34-yard line. So it's 14 to 7 at this point, and then this is where everything just kind of goes downhill for Washington. First down throw out to the left side, picks up a couple of yards to Brandon Ayuk. So they open it up with a quick throw to Ayuk here. Tight coverage. He's able to get it into him, though. Second and 9. You're going to get a little boot. Put it on George Kittle and let him run. This is the they get this kind of stuff with Jimmy Garoppolo too, but not. He just doesn't have that. He doesn't quite get to the edge as well as Purdy most of the time. Purdy's much more consistent with being able to get out onto the edge. He's just more athletic, no doubt about it. This is the kind of stuff we saw from Garoppolo back in 2017. This is just a nice little easy dump it off, short throw, let George Kittle run 27 yards. So 33-yard touchdown. It was a 6-yard throw. Ends up being a 25-yard pass, right? So, I saw somebody put a stat on there the other day on Twitter. I think it might have been on Saturday. about how Purdy has 6 touchdown passes of 25 yards or more, which ties Patrick Mahomes, and that's fantastic. This is one of them right here. He threw the ball 6 yards. So it's, some of it is really, Purdy this is what he's got to do though, right? Get the ball into the hands of his playmakers, get the ball into the hands of George Kittle, get it to Brandon Ayuk, get it to Christian McCaffrey, get it to Deebo Samuel, and let those guys run. And that's what he did right there. And that's the same thing really that, quite honestly, that they had success with Jimmy Garoppolo during his time as the quarterback. 1st and 10, so explosive play to start off the second half there. Early on the second play of the second possession, they're going to open up right here, another play action. Nice throw to Brandon Ayuk, who catches it 14 yards downfield and then runs it for 40 for a nice 54-yard gain. So, again, nice throw by Purdy. Get the ball to your playmakers, and then a really nice run after the play by after the catch by Ayuk. Wide open, puts him on him, and then Ayuk, again, it was a 54-yard completion. The quarterback threw it 14 yards. Good stuff, though, because it's, again, get the ball to your playmakers. Do what they've got. You've got enough of them. Now you got 1st and goal at the 6. They're going to run this up inside with McCaffrey. Too much penetration, and he gets stopped after a gain of only 1. The fact that he's able to get 1 here is pretty impressive. All right, 2nd and 5. 2nd and goal at the 5. This was a screen out to the left side, and if you followed me on Twitter during the game, I was saying that he should have just thrown the ball away here at the end. If he'd thrown the ball away, it would have been a penalty. I think it would have been the same thing. I think it would have been an illegal man downfield, would have cost him 5 yards. Instead, he ran out of bounds 4 yards, so it saves him a yard. Illegal man downfield, I believe, comes with a loss of down penalty as well. But they're trying to run a screen out here to the left. You can see Trent Williams, and then I think that's Jake Brendel in the middle. The pressure comes. He isn't able to get it out to him, and he takes off sprinting around the right side. Ends up running out of bounds. It's a loss of 4. It's kind of gave up on the play a little too soon, I think. Let's watch it again. Let's see. You guys can tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. Does it look to you like Brock Purdy might have given up on this one? He sees the guy coming off the edge. See the grab. No, I think it's okay. Just it's a tough one there, and it's tough because he can't get rid of the ball because of the fact that those guys are downfield. So you got to run out of bounds. That's one of the 3 sacks that the Washington put up on the day. Can't really put this one on the offensive line. It's a screen. Just a negative play, though, for the Flyers that pushes them back. Makes it a tough 3rd and 9. And then you get the false start by Mike McGlinchey out here on the right side. Jumps. Whoop. So now you're going to get 3rd and goal from the 14. So you've gone from 2nd and goal at the 5 to 3rd and goal from the 14. Hey, Harold, good to have you on board. Now, he couldn't have thrown it there, JG, because once he got out of the pocket, that ball can't be thrown forward. Those guys are too far downfield. 3rd and goal from the 14. '49ers find success at times to get on these screens. That Washington does a good job here of staying back. There's just too many guys for him to be able to get into. Let's watch it here. Now run the screen to McCaffrey up the middle. just a tough one. The timing on that one seemed to be off just a little bit. Brendel misses his guy. The timing on this one just got mixed up a little bit. Want to have a little bit more space between the running back and the lineman right here. He's kind of running back and forth trying to get somewhere, and Brendel misses his man. That's why he's dropped his head as he's walking back. But they're able to get it. Now the next possession, check that out. They start on their 11. So they start off on their 30, on their 34. They score a touchdown. They start off on their own 40 because of a kickoff return and that had a personal foul on top of it. So they start off at their 40. They get a touchdown. Now they're starting off at their 11. This is after the Nick Bosa sack, fumble recovery by Jordan Willis. 49ers are in business at the Washington 11. They're going to run this to the left side, and there's nothing going on for McCaffrey. He hasn't run it out of bounds. Just nowhere for him to cut. Good pursuit, trying to get that thing to the edge. There's nowhere else to go, and he's run out of bounds. So it brings up 2nd and 10. They're going to try to run a little shovel here to George Kittle. Got to be able to cut. He's just got to be able to get that thing cut back a little bit more. That's a tough play for him. Tough to get those feet cutting back early enough. Things got to be a little tighter. He's got to get over more towards McGlinchey, as I just screwed up the whole thing. So we ran the shovel, and then we got McGlinchey jumping off sides on what would have been 3rd and goal at the 9. So that brings up 3rd and goal would have been 3rd and goal at the 6. So now you've got 3rd and 10, at the 11, because they could still get a first down. Pretty good coverage downfield, and Purdy takes off running. Let's watch where he's let's see if we can find out where he's looking. That's pretty tough coverage around. Could have taken the check down to the right flat, but chooses to run it himself. Pick up 5 yards, and you get your second field goal of the half. Whoop. And then it takes off running. 49ers only ran 52 offensive plays in this game. Purdy ran 76 plays, I think it was 78 plays in his first game against Miami. Doesn't even get to be a start for him. And here's the Jimmy Ward interception. Now leads to the 49ers getting the ball at the 25. 49ers working out a 21 formation personnel. Quick throw into the slot to Ayuk for a short gain. Good protection both by this 49ers offensive line. You see Daniel Brunskill in now at right guard as they continue rotating those two. Second and 6 at the 21. 21 personnel again, and that's the run that they've been working. That's the third time now that they've worked this run to the left side, where they get the tight end coming out, supposed to kick out and then cut that thing up inside of them. This one's a little bit tougher because you see the guy there. He's not able to cut up where it's supposed to, and that's what leads to it. Let's see who misses his block there. I don't think it's going to be Trent Williams. I think it's going to be Aaron Banks that doesn't get the block. Yeah. Linebacker coming across is free and just not there. That inside cut lane that's usually been there isn't there for him on that one. So it brings up 3rd and 8 now. 3rd down means 11 formation for the 49ers. Nice little throw to to Jennings to move the sticks. Watch the protection from the offensive line. They were solid throughout this game. Nice catch by Jennings. First and 10. Nice little cut. This is the possession that they got where they got the ball following the onside kick going backwards. So again, really good field position based off of a special teams blunder on Washington's part. They win for the onside kick. Nice little cutback run there by Ty Davis Price. Good job with his vision there, not running through people this time. It's just a little toss. Basically it's a zone, but they use toss to get into it. Nice cut by, nice run by Davis Price. That probably one of his best runs of the day. Third and 1 out of 21 personnel. The 49ers have a couple of young backs in Jordan Mason and Ty Davis Price who are really doing a nice job on these late game drives to help move the sticks. And this is another nice run by 32 here. This zone to the left side does a really nice job of sliding uncut. The first guy comes off of his back. Another nice gain for Davis Price to move the sticks. So you get 1st and 10 at the 18. A couple of nice runs there. Not bad. It's the only, my only thing with Davis Price, I think he's got some good things to work with, but he needs, as long as he stops trying to run through the chest of defenders, I think he's going to find himself having some success. That there's some things about him that really work good in this offense. And I think the 49ers are set up pretty well with McCaffrey, and then they have a stable of these big backs. Yeah, that's an RPO sack on Purdy there. That ball's got to come out. Should have given it. That's a bad read by him. You got to know that ball can come out of your hands, or you've got to give it. So that sack's on him. So you go through this game and he's sacked 3 times. Those 3 Brock Purdy sacks, 2 of them are on one of them is a screen that gets blown up that he has to run out of bounds. The second is an RPO that's on him, and then the other sack was the one on Spencer Burford. So of the 3 sacks in this game, 2 of them are not the fault of the offensive line. 4th and 3 here at the 11. They decide to go for it even though they're up by 10. This is a better situation like I was talking about earlier in the game. This is where I like to see you doing this. Nice. That's a tight window throw. Really nice catch by George Kittle. Not the best ball by Purdy. See what's on that front side and why he has to throw it behind him. Yeah, that's just a inaccurate throw. It's a nice catch. He could have thrown that thing out in front of him more, but when you look at it, when I was looking at it, the reason I wanted to see where that ball was coming in, I wanted to see if the Washington defender was going to be there for it. But this throw right here could be out in front of. This is just a poorly thrown ball. This ball, instead of being where it is, needs to be more to the right. It needs to be to the right side of the hash, really to about that white line on the R, the vertical part of the R, that second white line to the inside. That's about where that ball needed to be placed, and it's a touchdown. Brock Purdy should have had 3 touchdowns. He should have had 4 touchdowns in this game. Really, he should have had one to George Kittle earlier in the game, on that one play earlier. Should have had another one there if he had thrown it to him. Anyway, they're going to score a touchdown here at the end. Nice run running over his blockers by McCaffrey. Gets it into the end zone for the touchdown. Not sure how he blames Burford. Well, because Burford screwed up. The protection was supposed to slide to the left. That's why the center was looking to his left. Burford needs to stay with on that sack that Burford gave up. He needs to stay with his man on that one. They have two guys. They have the blitz coming. You got to work inside. He works inside, but then he goes back outside. He needs to stay with that guy. That's why McGlinchey stays inside, and the edge guy comes, because that's what you should be doing against the blitz. You work inside. Instead, with the way the blocking is, and he knew that he screwed up, and you could see it on his face. So, or in the way that he dropped his head and went and helped the quarterback up. But overall, a really good game for the 49ers in this one. I think the interesting thing with this one for me, again, the big score, 37. But again, you have to look at how they got there. When you look at at that end of the game scenario and the second half, it goes from being a 14-point game where you have where it's 14 to goes from being 14 to 7 to 37-20 at the end, thanks to a lot of really good field position by the 49ers in the second half. They had you look at that halftime that opened up with a nice possession, but after that first score, it's a drive of 34 yards, 60 yards because of a special teams, 11. I think the next one was 25. So I think it was 11-yard. They start off at the 11-yard line, field goal. Start off at the 25-yard line, field goal. Then you start off at the 33, touchdown. So defense, special teams are really working well with the 49ers offense in this one to put up those big points. It's not often that you see teams go out and put up 37, 40 points in a game and have it be just based on the offense. That's stuff that sometimes Kansas City, Buffalo, those teams might do it. The 49ers usually aren't going to do that, putting up that kind of numbers unless there's some help by the defense with field position or points. So I thought it was a really good game overall. A couple of mistakes again for Purdy, but for the most part, he was excellent for again 4 weeks in a row. And then you look at it and whatever's going on between George Kittle and Brock Purdy, you got to keep that working out. Kittle and third string quarterbacks, there's something about it, right? Go back to 2018 and look at the numbers. That was his best season, and he put up most of that stuff with Nick Mullins as the quarterback, and Mullins was a third stringer that year. You look at what he's doing this year with Brock Purdy, just fantastic stuff overall. 49ers in a really good position. Looks like they've got 2 games ahead of them that are very winnable, and just got to keep an eye on what happens out in Philadelphia these next 2 weeks. A couple of Philadelphia Eagles losses coupled with a couple of 49ers wins, and you're looking at either the 1 or 2 seed. So depending on what happens with Minnesota. So the 49ers in a really good spot. I want to take a second, shout everybody out for watching this. Thank you very much. If you guys can do me a favor and hit that like button before you leave. The like button is how this stuff gets amplified. The more likes it gets, the more it gets pushed out to other people to see them, which would be fantastic. And then also, if you're watching and you're not already subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button as well. And when you hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell notification so you get notified every time we go live. So thank you all very much. Appreciate you joining on a Tuesday afternoon. I'll be back here later on tonight with Jesse Naylor for the Hammer and Nail Show in about an hour and 20 minutes. Take care, everybody. Thanks a lot. And thank you for helping out the channel. Take care, everybody. Thank you, Harold. Appreciate it.